This is the Synthetic Signal Report for Wednesday, July 8th, 2026, in the morning. Today, we track the GitHub Agentic Workflow Vulnerability, a hidden authentication backdoor in Tenda firmware, an obfuscated bash script found on a retail product, the escalating German industrial crisis, and Apple's domestic chip production expansion. Security researchers have uncovered a critical vulnerability in GitHub's agentic workflow environment, dubbed GitLost. By submitting a specially crafted issue in a public repository, an attacker can trick GitHub's AI agent into pulling and exposing data from private repositories. This attack demonstrates how AI agents, when granted broad repository read permissions, can be manipulated via prompt injection to act against their own security configuration. This is a significant escalation in the threat landscape for organizations relying on agentic automation to manage their codebase, as the agent functions as a trusted, high-privileged entity that ignores standard access control boundaries when manipulated correctly. A long-standing security flaw has been identified in multiple versions of Tenda firmware, which contains a hard-coded, hidden authentication backdoor. This vulnerability allows an unauthenticated attacker to gain administrative access to the device simply by providing a specific set of credentials or bypassing the login process entirely. This is a critical risk for residential and small business infrastructure. Because the flaw is embedded in the firmware, these devices are essentially insecure by design. Security teams must treat any Tenda-based infrastructure as compromised and isolate these devices from internal network segments immediately.
In a strange intersection of supply chain and consumer goods, security analysts have identified a self-evaluating, obfuscated bash script printed on a Uniqlo t-shirt design. The script, which appears to be a CDN-based artifact related to Akamai, was inadvertently included in the garment's visual aesthetic. While not a malicious attack, the incident highlights the chaotic nature of automated content generation pipelines. It illustrates a signal from the future regarding the fragility of digital to physical supply chains. As automated tools generate assets for everything from web content to physical merchandise, the risk of technical artifacts leaking into public-facing outputs continues to rise. The German automotive sector is signaling a potential employment collapse due to competition from foreign AI-integrated vehicle manufacturers. Volkswagen is reportedly preparing to propose the elimination of 100,000 jobs, with internal discussions centering on the possibility of placing manufacturing plants under foreign ownership to stave off total insolvency. This serves as a primary indicator of the great decoupling in industrial manufacturing, where nations failing to lead in the autonomous and agentic design sectors face massive structural economic decline.
Apple has confirmed a major expansion of its spending with Broadcom to increase domestic production of chips in the United States. This move is designed to secure the supply chain for next-generation hardware, specifically focusing on the silicon requirements for AI-centric devices. By shifting more production to domestic facilities, Apple is effectively hedging against geopolitical volatility and material scarcity. This is a strategic industrial play to ensure that the core compute components, which are currently the most significant bottleneck in the AI economy, remain under localized, controllable supply chains. The security and developer communities are currently focused on three core issues. First, there is significant frustration regarding the balkanization of execution security research for AI coding agents. Researchers note that because AI agents now perform shell commands and file operations with minimal oversight, the current security literature is dangerously fragmented. Experts are calling for unified sandbox isolation standards before these agents cause widespread automated damage. Second, the clinical research community is discussing the Large Cancer Assistant, a new model-agnostic orchestration framework. It aims to solve the problem of monolithic, rigid clinical designs by allowing modular AI inference in oncological decision support. Third, the community is closely tracking the dispute between Prime Medicine and Beam Therapeutics over gene editing technology, which has now reached a legal resolution. This signals a maturation phase in the synthetic biology sector, where patent disputes are increasingly defining the trajectory of commercialized genetic medicine. Finally, the consensus among infrastructure leads is that manual audit processes for dependencies and vulnerabilities are no longer viable. The volume of emerging exploits, including those targeting specific firmware and agentic workflows, requires a total shift toward automated, real-time patch management and robust hardware-level isolation.